Welcome to Cincinnati, Barrett. First of all, your reaction, and were you anticipating the Bengals selecting you?
Oh man, I was not anticipating it at all. I was just trying to take in everything, just pick by pick, and I saw Cincy on the clock, and I was hoping for it, but you never know at the draft, and I see my phone light up, and I answer the call, and here we are. So I'm super blessed to be a part of it, and just I'm ready to get to work and go win some games. So I'm super excited.
Can you describe your role last season, calling and kind of leading the defense from a pre-snap perspective?
Yeah, being the leader of the defense, I really wore that badge with pride. So get the call from the sideline, get my D line lined up, talk to my other linebacker, communicate with them, and then talk to my free safety, my corner, and communicate with them. So it was a lot of pre-snap communications, a lot of alerting stuff if I see anything. So you gotta, if you want to play at a high level, you got to communicate at a high level, and that's what I plan on doing in Cincinnati.
Barrett, I saw a profile of you where you removed the defense as a sophomore and that you quote-unquote hated it. What did you hate about that move, and are you grateful now that they made that move?
Yeah, so that was the end of my freshman year of high school, and I'd grown up playing receiver and running back really my whole life, and they moved me to linebacker, and I was super mad about it. I'm from Chicago. I thought I was going to be the next Devin Hester, so something like that, and then moved me to defense, and I was pissed off. I wanted to quit football, but the next day I got my first scholarship offer. So God works in mysterious ways, and that showed me that right there. But I've grown to love defense, and I wouldn't want to play any other side of the ball, and I wouldn't want to play any other position.
Playing against South Carolina, do you have any familiarity with the Bengals' second-round pick, Demetrius Knight?
Yeah, I met him at the combine. D Knight, he's a dog. He put a lot of good stuff on film throughout his collegiate career. I'm excited to get to work with him and just learn from him learn from me, and just we feed off of each other along with the other guys in the room. So D Knight's a dog, and I'm excited to get to work with him.
What's your comfort level with special teams? How much of that have you done, and do you view that as an opportunity in the NFL to get on the field more?
Yeah, I've been playing special teams my whole college career. So my freshman year I came in, I played on every single special team. Then, going sophomore year, junior year, as my reps started getting higher, they started to take me off. But I was always on punt and kickoff. So very familiar with special teams. And, playing special teams, it's a key component of the game. You can lose games on special teams. So I don't take that lightly. And I know that any special teams play can impact the trajectory of the game. So I'm excited to get on the field in any way, shape, or form. If that's special teams, if that's defense, so be it. I just want to get out there and make plays. So I'm just ready to throw my body out there and make plays out there.
Defensive coordinator Al Golden spoke about your interview in Indianapolis, and he described it as authentic and that you didn't sound coached. How did you approach those one-on-one meetings with NFL teams?
Yeah, I walked into my interviews and I was just being myself. I didn't want to put up a front or anything, or try to be something that I'm not. God gave me my DNA, my fingerprint, and no one else has the same fingerprint. And I stand by that, and I live by that. So I walked into every single room just being myself. I'm a confident, humble, smart young man, and that's what I tried to be in every single interview. So I'm glad I guess I left a good impression.
What made you an effective and good team captain?
I would say the number one thing is that I lead with love, and I don't just attach myself to the starters or the other linebackers or the other good players. I don't care what your role is or who you are. I'm gonna treat you like you're the most important player or whoever you are. So it didn't matter if you were a walk-on who never touched a field or if you were the starting quarterback. I approached you the same. I didn't talk to you any differently. And I think that seeing that authenticity, that genuine love and care, I think that's why my teammates voted me team captain. So I would say that's the number one thing.
When you look at the Bengals, this opportunity, what's the first thing that stands out when you know the roster you're about to join?
Yeah, and ironically, right before this call, Logan Wilson just texted me. So excited to, get in there and, learn from him and pick his brain a lot because he's one of the best to do, and he's a dog. So I'm excited just to, team up with a guy like that and, like I said, pick his brain and, see what he does on a day-to-day basis and just, the other vets on the team. Obviously you have Joe Burrow and T and Jamar and all those guys, but I'm excited to go in and just learn from the vets and try to leave an impact and show who Barrett Carter is.
Barrett, have you met T?
Yeah, we actually have. We're in the same agency, so I've met T. I met him before. He's a great dude. Obviously looked up to him a lot going through the recruiting process with Clemson and seeing all the stuff that he was doing. So I'm excited to team up with him and also DJ Turner. Me and DJ went to the same high school, grew up in the same city. So teaming up with him and Miles Murphy. So it's going to be a fun experience playing with some familiar guys that I know.
Sounds like that's it. We appreciate your time. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Barrett.
Thank y'all so much. Y'all take care.
You too.
You too.